You know, my morning thoughts. I just had my juice and coffee, and I'm on that high vibration. You know, that coffee high too. I love it. Every morning is like something. I go somewhere, and here I am thinking. We're not only here to have fun. It's actually a must to have fun, but this is like, ugh, shut the fuck up, right? For an adult right now in our generation. What do you mean you're here to have fun? Life is not fair, the mantra. I talked about this last week too. These mantras and these sayings in every culture, that in every language we have them, how reality has been altered and fucked with. And it's these sayings, if you pay attention, it's the most important ones. I don't know if it was yesterday or whenever this week though I was talking about the mantra of seeing is believing, when in fact it's believing is seeing, right? Oh, money doesn't grow in tree. Money in fact does grow in tree, right? Like these little things is like, not little things, these sayings that we think is a joke or it's not important, but it really is, because life is supposed to be simple and fun, right? And we can only have fun though when we are interested, right? You can only stay in love with someone for as long as you're interested in them, right? That's what a lot of people don't understand. The honeymoon phase, right? You're just interested in everything that they do, right? Like the little things and everything. And then like, oh, you come off of that highness because it wasn't your match to begin with, because you haven't even worked on yourself. You just come to this place of desperate and need to meet someone and afraid of being alone, blah, blah, blah. And sooner or later, right, that highness will go up because it wasn't based on truth, right? Anyways, I don't know how I segue to that analogy. I was actually trying to say, with things though, with who we are, we have to be interested in something. When you're interested in it, you're in love with it, right? Nothing can stop you. And because our number one job is to give a positive vibration to Mother Earth, like I said, it's a must for us to have fun. But we can only have fun when we find that truth within us that connects us to everything. Our true desires, our interests that come naturally to us, that continues to help us co-create with the universe, so we continue to create ourselves and we're never bored, right? You don't have time to be bored. Teenagers, like committing suicide in our generation out of boredom, right? Out of being lost and comparison with social media, people wanting that instant microwave success, no one respecting the process, right? No one wants to study, understand how the people that I admire have come to a place that they currently hold. Everybody wanted just the last stage, when you are on stage 0, right? You're in the base camp, but you're comparing yourself to those that are mid or like on top of the mountain. Well, you gotta put yourself up there. Like, you can't sit in the base camp and complain and compare and get mad and quit. You'll never get up there, right? You have to work them legs. You have to strive. But we need fuel on a daily basis as human beings. And where does your fuel come from? Your fuel is love. And if you haven't found where your fuel comes from, right? I talked about this too, actually, a long time ago. I think I actually talked about this on my first book. I don't know. How I gave the analogy of a gas station, right? There's regular, there is the diesel, and then what's the other one? Whatever. But the point being, each of us as human beings, we have our own interests, right? And it's those interests that are uniquely given to us that is going to be our driving force in life, right? So it's like there's a gas station for human beings where you get your fuel, that you need to get your fuel as much as you need it. A lot of people are walking around on E and expecting a different result, and that's not going to happen, right? Like, your fuel is your interest. For me, it's nature. And nature can work for everyone, but you have to be open to it though. But then again, there is different place for everyone that is uniquely created, just like your fingerprints. But it is your job to find that gas station. Your interest is the gas station that you continuously need to go back and refuel. Human beings are here to create. If you're not creating, you're bored. If you're bored, you're not living. You're just alive. You're not alive, you're just living. Your organs work, so yeah, you exist, but you're not happy. And what's the point of living if you're not happy? We must find this place that gives us true, genuine peace and love and acceptance. And it exists within us. But you have to find out what it is. Each of us are given something to love that is supposed to be creating us on a daily basis, taking care of us. That will take care of us. We are here to be service for one another. What is that service? I believe it's on Think and Grow Rich. If I'm not mistaken, that I read, I quoted on my first book, What is the Charge of Your Life? There is an equivalent the amount of money man receives is on the equivalent level of how much he gives. The majority of people don't even understand that. The majority of people just work for themselves to pay their bills. So it's just for for pleasure. Not pleasure, but it's just for selfish needs. But people don't even give away what they don't use in their closet. Giving is a big part of receiving that most people don't understand. Right? People will tell you, what do you mean give? I don't even have enough. See, that's the danger. What you believe. But what you are meant to give is given to you freely already. That's your interest. That interest is here to create love. That love is what we are here to give. Mother Earth only gives us love. Man is supposed to accept his desires, which is God speaking to us. We were supposed to say thank you, but because we were taught to live on the non-deserving frequency, right? I was part of that disease. I was part of that infection, right? How long it took me to even say out loud the things that I am. Coming from lack and scarcity and just fear-based mentality. We are like what was that analogy? The elephants. They tie their legs when they're young so they don't run away when they get old. Right? Imagine an elephant tied with a rope. There's actually a picture, I think, on my IG with a plastic chair. An elephant, imagine, and standing there thinking, if that's not like a bit example, like if that's not like a slow motion Medea slap, I don't know what is. I hope I still have that photo. See, that's what they do to us. When we're children, whatever it is you were taught when you were a child, you become it as an adult. So adults are taught not to want. What is the first thing that we are taught in school? Stay still, to be okay with boredom, which is teaching you to be powerless, to be weak, to just accept whatever it is given to you. Children don't want to be in school. But here comes 18, you're like, oh, transition into adulthood, all right, you become okay with working a job that you hate, and just, we call it responsibility, pay rent, and that's it. And you even think you're ready enough, and then you give birth. You're confused as hell, and then you think you're ready to reproduce, and that's like adding another responsibility that you're not ready for. You're not even ready to live life yet. Most people in my generation are in parenthood, and they're not even ready to be parents. But we can learn anything, though, right? If thoughts become things, change your thoughts, change the way you look at life. What was that my favorite saying? Kanye West. People are limited by their own thoughts and perspective of themselves. You have something that you're interested in. You have something that you love, but you just think it's impossible, so you don't even entertain it. And if you don't entertain it, it's dry, right? Man's wealth is in his mind. I remember last year at this time, I love how this is connecting. Right, I just graduated the end of September, and then the next day it happened, and it wasn't planned, but I ended up going to Mount Charleston, and I was called to do a money healing ritual, right? Like a burning ceremony that I did, what I believed about money and what I want to believe. And I remember I was just walking. I get this every time I'm in the woods, a specific spot will just call me. And then I found a rock and I sat down, and then I looked to my left. It was the other side of the mountain. And I was looking at the tip of that mountain, and it's so big, right? And it's like, I heard, your mind is like this mountain. It's like just this green land ready to grow anything. But if you don't sow anything on it, it's just going to be empty. That's how most people live. They want change. Right? They're not happy, but they do not entertain. Entertaining it is sowing it. Thinking about it is cultivating it. And feeling happy thinking about it is nurturing it. Visualization, right? But you must do that until it materializes itself. Most people don't have the patience. Most people don't even know that's what we're here to do. But man's wealth is his mind. Whatever I sow in my mind, I shall reap. And everything has a process. The chicken 21 days, the horse 5 months, humans 9 months, and such and so on. So we have to give the need to control about when and how to the invisible power that brings everything from the invisible to the visible. Right? The farmer doesn't sow his seed and give up the next day or a week later because he's not seeing the leaves, bursting out of the ground. He will continue to water, rid of the weeds. Right? Because weeds are cheap, right? They don't need anything. They just fucking come out. But weeds are your tests, right? These self-doubts are your tests that will help you to work out. Just like you have to go to the gym and work out to have a ripped body. You have to go every day, right? You can't go to the gym once a week and expect to have a beautiful body. No. Right? So just like that, just like the farmer, he will continue cultivating his garden, and then the seed will sprout sooner or later. It must. Ask and it shall be given you. That's the law. But the how and the when, is the matrix. At this age, you do this. At this age, you learn this. At this age, you get to here. At this age, you must do this. At this age, you must be that. At this age, they got you freaking out counting your age, and age doesn't even exist. Time doesn't even exist. My God, how when the student is ready, the teacher will show up. When you truly, truly seek, what you seek is seeking you. I am a perfect example of that. Right? In my early spiritual awakening days, after I moved back to Ohio from Vegas, that library was like my Disneyland, right? And how all the right books and the right videos would come to me. I remember I come across this video. It was called How It's Made. I was like, how it's made what? I was like, all right, whatever. I picked it up. Right? And it was showing me how basically the building of America, right, started in Chicago before the sewage and everything. Like, people used to drink beer for breakfast because the water was dirty, right? They don't have time to boil it into whatever, to go through that process yet. Imagine. And what fascinated me was time. First, they came up with 22 hours, and then they changed their mind, and they did 23 hours, and then they changed their mind again, and then they did 24 hours. You see, we are living one man's theory, but you are here to have your own theory, because no one knows the truth. Everybody dies. You are born alone, you will die alone. What are you willing to do between that time? It's up to you. Because you have your own theory that is given to you. You own your own philosophy. It's only when you come and when you live from that state that you live a genuine life that is filled with a feeling of good and joy and just being in peace. There isn't anything that can beat that. Not great, not excited. Nothing can beat feeling good. Right? People that feel good all the time, right? Rich people, they don't even just like excited about what, right? Oh yeah. But it doesn't mean they're ungrateful. They enjoy life. Right? But they're just not like regular people that are going to Paris once in 5 years or like once in their whole life, and then they're like all these jittering energy. When I was a flight attendant, it's like, oh my God, the flight to Vegas or Miami was like, whew. And I live in Vegas, so it's like every time I come home, every week I come home, it's like people can't not handle it. And there's the little courage too. It's like by the time they go back after their little 5-day vacation, they don't even remember what happened in Vegas. Right? This insanity way of living. And then they look at people like me, that are dreamers, that wants to talk like this, as a crazy person. And this is why I always say the internet was created for us, because we are now ready to share our truth. Right? Like, what is that on scripture? A king is not accepted, or is not respected in his household? Is it a king? Or an anointing? Something like that. Your loved ones are not going to respect you or accept you or support you, because they don't even know how to give those feelings to themselves. But there's someone out there that is just like you. Hence the creation, the invention of the internet. Hence why I'm doing this, right? Born Philosopher's video. To whomever is out there. That is trying to understand his life. You have your own philosophy that you must find within yourself. But you have to. What was it that lady at the library said to me? Right? I wrote a chapter about her. I wrote about her in the first chapter of my book. This crazy lady out of nowhere one day. Right? It's like a magical story. But in a shorter version would be like, she sped off and parked in front of the library at the handicap, like this, driving this family van. It came straight to me like as if she knew me, like skinny, tall African American lady. Right? It's like, said what it is. She said it's like, before God uses you, all the old shackles need to be rid of you. Right? Like we need to rid of the clutter of the world, which is what we have experienced without choosing, just because we were born in it. Society, school, parent, family. Where I wrote my second book, Subtract the First 50 Years of Your Age, right? You're not responsible for it. You need to divorce yourself from all that you've learned and you attached yourself during those years, because you just arrived. You have no choice. No one has a choice of when to arrive. Where to arrive. Right? You can be born in a rich family. You can be born in a poor family. We have no choice. But you have a choice to live. And it's by following the direction of your life. There's a compass that is built in us, and that is our interest. Following that interest is what's going to free us, differentiate us from the rest of the world. That is going to help us to continue to be renewed by the change of our minds, right? Do not conform to the ways of being of the world, says the scripture, but be renewed by the changes of your mind, right? Because growth is by the minute. If you continuously follow your own guidance, you're growing every day. You're learning every day. But if you don't use your brain, if you don't learn to think for yourself, someone else will think for you, right? They're a personality for sale in my generation. So many people act the same and they think it's a normal thing. No one is supposed to think the same or act the same. Yeah, we can have things that we're interested in, right? Like we're creating that thing, yeah. Partnership, yeah. We have, right? We share visions. But people out here conforming, thinking it's a good thing that someone acts like them or they act like someone, killing individuality. We don't kill meditation without a doubt. Na, 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 na. We got to keep on pushing on the road to Zion. We got to keep it pushing, y'all.